the GAB Talks by the Independent Press Award. I'm your hostess, Gabby Olzak. Today, we will be chatting with Greg M. Porter, Rollins, author of Pablo, the Plate Painter of Mazatlan, winner of the 2022 New York City Big Book Award for Children's Fiction. Craig is a former CEO in financial securities. He serves on the National Advisory Council for the Woodbury School of Business at Utah Valley University, where he was responsible for creating the Financial Planning Bachelor's Program. Though unofficially retired, Craig continues to lecture and consult in different facets of investing and business. An entrepreneur at heart, Craig has focused on writing stories that inspire and encourage children to pursue their dreams. Craig joins us from Hawaii. Congratulations, Craig, and welcome to the GAB Talks.
Hey, thank you so much, Gabby. I'm just thrilled to be here and thrilled to talk about what we're doing.
We're excited. So before you tell us about Pablo, I want to talk about a quote that you have in your book. Right before the book gets started, you have something. You say, families are rich with their own traditions and history. What does that mean to you?
Well, I've been fortunate enough. I grew up in the South, lived out west for a number of years. I've been fortunate enough to travel around the world. I've met people from every walk of life you can imagine, and I'm always curious and always ask, what they do as a family or what their traditions are. I like that. I like learning about what people do and what their backgrounds are and what's important to them. And so I've discovered that every family out there, maybe it's a holiday get together, maybe it's a family reunion, maybe it's a special meal they have, maybe it's a special event that they go to. But every family has traditions, and if they don't, then they can start their own. And that's the other thing I love about travel is I've learned so much, and we've incorporated some traditions that we've discovered in other places in our own family traditions now, which has been a lot of fun.
That's so wonderful. And when you carry out those traditions, I'm sure you think about the many places that you've been and the people that you've met. And I understand, Craig, that one of the reasons you were inspired to write Pablo is because of someone that you met when you were in Mexico.
Right. Yeah. A very long time ago, back in the 1980s. Way back pre-social media, when we had to actually talk to each other.
Yeah, we had conversations.
We had conversations. I was on a trip to Mazatlan, Mexico. And I met the man that was the impetus behind the character Pablo, and was so fascinated by his talent and his ability. And I literally took most of my week that I was there. I ended up meeting with him and talking with him almost every day, and kind of got his background, his story, how he got to where he was. And I was so enthralled by the fact that he had started literally from nothing, and had now, had a very good business, and his artwork was sold quite a few places, and he just loved to paint, and he loved to express, and he loved to capture people's memories, and just so enthralled by that I actually started sharing that story when I was lecturing at high schools and colleges when I came back to the States, and the story kind of just stuck around. It was one that people remembered, and it kind of stuck with them that you can, pursue your dreams. You can accomplish if you're willing to put in the time and effort and practice, which is the one thing I think the book really shows, is that it takes time and practice to become good at anything. But I was so enthralled that I eventually said, this would make a great children's book. So he basically inspired this. The whole story is based on true events. It's based on a real person. It is a fiction because there are, we actually did create the story around that. But it's all based on true events, and he really had an impact on my life. And as I've shared his story, it's had an impact on others.
So tell us, without spoilers, it is a children's book, so it's not a 400-page novel. But just give us a little brief synopsis of Pablo, the Plate Painter.
So Pablo, when he was a young boy, he loved to draw, just like any child, loved to draw things, sketch things. And he gets his little pad notebook out, and he starts drawing things that are around him in his daily life. I mean, the goats in the garden, or or the little community, the town he lived in, and just started drawing pictures and drawing, and he got really good at it. He loved art in school. He would, when he was in primary school, drawing art was his favorite class, and the teacher saw that he really enjoyed it and started explaining colors, and his mother started finding out what a great little artist he was becoming at a young age, and she took the time to introduce him to a local man that was a painter, an artist in the community, and kind of forged a bond with this individual and mentored Pablo, and he continued to work on his craft and became quite good at what he did. So it's all about, if you believe in something, you enjoy something, following that to fruition, and that's kind of what he does in the book.
Yeah, there were actually a lot of lessons in the book. Work ethic, when he was told to clean the studio, respect.
Yes.
Right. What do you think? You're the author, Craig. You're the creator of the story. What do you think is the most important message that you want to convey with Pablo?
I think the most important thing is, well, there's a few things, like you said. I mean, the fact that knowledge is important, and seeking knowledge is important, that hard work is important, that being respectful of your elders, being respectful of your teachers is important. They do have a great deal to share. The importance of mentoring, the importance of finding someone that can guide you through your career path, or guide you through your lesson work, or school work, or whatever it may be. These are all considered boring things nowadays, but they're at the heart of every successful person I've ever met. Time, effort, patience, respect, hard work. Those are very common themes that I worry that we're losing a little bit, and why Pablo and other books that I'm working on now are going to have that same kind of thread woven through the storyline, where it's about sticking to your guns and believing in yourself, and finding those that will help you achieve your dreams, and then basically paying that back, because none of us got to where we are without the help of other people. None of us. And anybody who says they're self-made is lying to you.
I agree. And you've met a lot of people along the way. You were a former CEO, you were in the financial securities industry. So you have a lot of experience, which you've been sharing at colleges and consulting. And so you've written 2 other books, The Wholesaler's Companion, which I didn't read, but I read it, very interesting, and The Emperor's Dilemma, which I thought was really incredible. I didn't read it, but I know the story, and you describe it as a business fable. So you did these a number of years ago. How and why did you make the leap then to children's fiction? That's a leap.
It really is, and it wasn't. I mean, I thought I was going to be writing boring business articles,
books. Yeah,
business books, and it kind of, I realized at a young age that I had a bit of a gift for GAB, and
no pun intended.
No pun intended. But I had a gift for storytelling, and was able to articulate what I was thinking very well. And stories stick with people. They stuck with me as a child. The stories that I was told as a child stuck with me. Most of us, any adult or any child, they have a favorite story, and that story sticks with them. And whether it has an impact or not is hard to tell immediately, but over time it has a massive impact. And I said, I'm going to probably get a lot farther along if I start sharing these stories with the people that will embrace it, and that's children. Yeah. And because most adults are pretty set in their ways, and if it's not going to lead directly to what they're hoping to accomplish, they a lot of times will set that aside. But children will read stories over and over and over again. I've got a friend of mine got the book and says that he gets his grandkids ask him to read that book all the time. He's almost got it, and to me, that's the point. Number one, he's sharing time with his grandchildren. He's sharing this story with them. It's a story that's sticking with them, and it's all about following your dreams. And so I made the leap from trying to convince adults of what they need to do to an audience that was more pliable, that was more willing to listen, and use a format of storytelling to convey the messages that I feel are important, hard work and respect and following your dreams and putting in the time and being patient and all the things that I think we're losing as a society. I worry a lot as I see some of the kids growing up that they have not had those opportunities and aren't falling back. My greatest heroes were the books I read as a child.
Yeah.
And I was big into that. I read all of Edgar Rice Burroughs. If he wrote something, I read it. I read so many stories like that, and they were ingrained in me. Robin Hood, it goes on and on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn. I mean, I read all of that stuff and I loved it. And those stories have stuck with me very, very much so. So I made the leap to children's books.
Well, it's true what you say, because I think everything is just so quick and instantaneous these days. And that's what the older kids are looking for. But if you can get them at a younger age, the age that you're targeting for your books, that's really, really crucial. The story itself is really fantastic, but let's talk about the illustrations, which are really also stunning.
Yeah, I really have been fortunate to find very talented people. Rufus, I never pronounce his name right, Zejodeus, is a phenomenal artist. And actually, I met him, I'm really not sure, 100% sure the exact way I met him, but I know it was through some business colleagues that I met him through, and was just fascinated by his artwork. And he wasn't doing book illustrations at the time. He was doing, he does like business illustrations, like the dry erase mark, where the board, the active board or the cartoon board.
Yes.
Yeah, that kind of, he was doing that kind of stuff. And so he's doing character drawings, and he actually did my logo for my website.
Okay.
Yeah. And just a very talented artist. And I said, would you ever consider doing a book? I've got this story idea. So, and this is pre-COVID. We started talking pre-COVID, I think 2018. And he said, yeah, I could do this. It took a while. COVID obviously slowed things way down. But
Sure.
he's just such an amazing artist. And he captured Pablo, and he captured what I was conveying. Pablo, what you're seeing in the book is either the transcript was very short, but the story that I told was several pages long. And so he got the whole transcript, and we went through and read it together. I said, share it with your kids and see what your kids think. And so he started piecing together the look and feel of Pablo. I gathered pictures from central Mexico where this story takes place, and some of the villages and things that I had gone to. And I said, here's pictures, here's what it looked like, here are the streets, here are the buildings. And he just captured everything so well, and he captured Pablo so well. And it was amazing, and it just kind of flowed easily. It just was.
Well, it was really a collaborative effort then. You really seemed to write it and illustrate it together.
We really did, and that's why he's prominently put on the front cover, because he was just as instrumental in making this happen as the story.
Well, it really is beautiful. So you talked about where you grew up. You grew up in Kentucky, and what sounds like really an idyllic childhood. You said you read Tom Sawyer. It sounded like you were Tom Sawyer, Craig.
I sure tried to be.
I mean, I'm envious. It sounds like a beautiful, way to live. So your upcoming projects, the Year I Scared Away Santa and the Poppy series, actually draw a lot from your childhood and the influence of your grandparents.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for grandparents. Broken home, very, very common tale. And my grandfather stepped in, my poppy, he stepped in, and he became the strong man in my life. And my grandmother was an entrepreneur, owned some rental properties and had a beauty salon. And so my entrepreneurship and my business savvy, I can attribute to her. And they taught me all the life lessons I needed to know. They were children growing up in the Depression era. So, saving and being frugal and being respectful was a very common thing. And I'm very fortunate to have had such great influences in my life. And we lived out in rural Kentucky, out in the sticks of Butler County.
Wow.
Yeah, and just loved it. Had a great childhood. We didn't have much. I mean, I wouldn't say that we had a lot, but we had what we needed. I got to go out on my father's grandparents' home. They had a farm out in the country, and got to experience a lot of that growing up. Getting chased by our gander that was the meanest goose on the planet. Just a lot of that stuff. And I'm very grateful for that. Hunting and fishing and running wild barefoot in the southwestern hills of Kentucky.
Wow, that really sounds incredible. And your grandmother, she sounds like a heck of a woman. I mean, this had to be in the 60s? And she sorry, maybe even before that, where she had a hair salon, rental properties. And did I hear correctly that your very first business at 6 years old was in her hair salon?
Oh my gosh. Yes, that is true.
You were a manicurist in her hair salon.
Wow. Yeah.
I do my research.
Homework, man. You have done your homework.
Yeah. Well, that's fascinating. And it gets even better than that. I understand that good old grandma, I love her. She took you to the bank with a wad full of money to deposit and showed you how to be a businessman and how to conduct yourself like a businessman. That's amazing.
I mean, I remember every day at the close of business every day. My pop built bridges. He built most of the bridges in the southwestern, Kentucky.
That's Poppy.
That's Poppy, yeah.
Okay.
And so he would come home from work and we'd hang out, and then grandma would close business and bring home the receipts, and I would help her count the money out at the end of the day. And literally, and you could not do this nowadays. This was a small town, so that's the only way you could do this.
I'm pretty sure that wouldn't be allowed in.
But what a great opportunity! She would trust me with the nightly deposit. I would walk the 4 or 5 blocks to the bank, and put the money, the deposits for the day in the night deposit box. She trusted me with that. I was young. I was 6, 7, 8 years old, but she trusted me with that. And she took me around, introduced me to the mayor and the sheriff, and taught me how to meet people and shake hands and look people in the eye and respect. And there are not words that I could convey of the impact that she's had, not only on my life, but the lives of all of her grandchildren and many others in the community. I mean, she just was a force to be reckoned with.
It sure sounds
awesome.
like it. Well, it sounds like you're putting it in writing with the Poppy series. So tell us about that, and when can we expect to see that?
The Poppy series is probably, the stories are there. It's just now we're working on laying them out and what progression we want to lay them out. Since there's about right now between 8 and 12 stories that we have done.
And what are the basis of the stories?
The basis of the stories are like kind of what I said, her taking me downtown and introducing me to people and how to meet people. My Poppy teaching me how to fish. And how to hunt and how to respect the land and how to, how important it is to not take more than you need. He was a builder, so, he helped me build a tree house and took me out and showed me how they built roads and bridges. It's just those experiences I had growing up and getting those life lessons. From 2 very caring, amazing individuals that pretty much took me under their wing and taught me. I hate to use the phrase the older ways. I would say they taught me the better way to be a human, to be a person in society, to be a contributor. They taught me the right way.
The right way.
The book that kicks that off is actually The Year I Scared Santa Claus Away.
I like that title. I know it's a working title, but I kind of like it. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So this is autobiographical. This is going to be somewhat interesting, but as a children's book, it takes place in the 60s when I was rather young. And I had a terrible habit of like most children that are, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, so excited for Christmas that they just can't sleep and they just can't wait to get up in the morning. And
Yep.
apparently my poppy, who kind of kept me under wraps around Christmas time, kept me busy. I would get up at 4, 2, 3 in the morning, and he had about had enough of it. So yeah, so this story is about the year he was going to put a kibosh to my early rising. And so the story kind of follows along with this, me as a young boy, just doing everything I possibly can to watch Santa bring those gifts in so I could get to him right away.
That sounds like a lot of fun. So when can we expect that one? I'm assuming The Year I Scared Away Santa will be published before the Poppy series.
Yes, yeah, that one's going to come out this year. In fact, actually, this is some of the old. I just pulled these off. These are print. These are not the original. The originals are being digitized right now. You can see those.
Wow,
but
they're beautiful. Now, is this the same illustrator that is
no,
doing the Poppy series?
no, this is a different illustrator. I wanted to go for an older look, a more Norman Rockwell-esque.
That's what it reminds me of. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was fortunate. My Aunt Brenda, who is a artist in her own right and quite good, introduced me to this woman called Carolyn Davidson of Sage West Galleries, who is just a phenomenal talent. She's an acclaimed author, and we got to meet her and floated the idea, sent her the whole story, the long version. Now it's going to be edited down for the book. And she read it to her grandkids and just fell in love with it. And she says, I'm on board. And I said, awesome. I don't even know where to begin because frankly, she was well out of my ability to afford.
Yeah.
But she loves the project, and we're actually in editing right now. The originals, we did originals. They're all 16 by 20 originals that she painted for the story that are
how beautiful
actual arts of work, and they're gorgeous. And we're getting those digitized right now so that we can do the editing. I anticipate it is very possible that we could have this ready for print by March 1st.
That's exciting. I hope so. Just in time for spring and then the holidays and get it marketed. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
so
we've got to get into these book award contests.
Exactly.
I know somebody who runs a couple of those.
Okay. You'll have to talk to that person about it. So tell us, Craig, why is education so important to you? Because obviously it is.
I think I have to go back to my grandparents. My grandmother's an entrepreneur, came up through the school of hard knocks, Depression era. And my pop was more of an educated individual. He was a supervisor for bridge building. So mathematics and geometry, and, he understood all that stuff. And they just instilled into me a strong desire to learn about the world around me. In fact, it was my grandmother that brought me to Hawaii as a 12-year-old boy, because she said, we need to go see the world. So she put us on a plane and brought us to Hawaii, and took us to Pearl Harbor. We remember walking on the USS Arizona, and my pop had been in World War II, and had served in the European and Pacific Theater, and just were very good about instilling into me the amazing things in our world that we need to know about. And that's what got me reading. I wanted to learn more about it. And now here I live in Hawaii, and
Lucky duck.
and still seeking out adventures, and still having them, and still meeting people, and they just instilled a great deal of desire to learn, and I've tried to do that with my kids, and of course they never listen to you. You're never a prophet on land. So
we don't know anything.
No, I was probably the same way. I'm sure when I was a teenager, I knew it all.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like it sounds like you had some big ears, and you did a lot of listening to your grandparents, and learned a lot of valuable lessons.
I did, and I had a tremendous amount of respect for them. And they, respect starts at home. I think we've got to do better about respecting each other at home. And my grandparents sure did that for me. And so I've tried to be the best person I can be and learn as much as I can and put myself out there and fall flat on my face at times, but not be afraid to fail. And that's kind of where I'm at.
So Craig, on that note, how do you define success?
Success is a very personal thing. I mean, you can't look at what the world says is success, because if you do, you're like a dog chasing his tail, because success is a moving target when you look at what the world defines success as. I think success is really when you achieve your goals, whatever that is. If it's losing weight, or if it's gaining weight, or if it's writing a book, or if it's traveling, or if it's getting a promotion, or if it's being your own boss. Success is very personal. And I think if you start viewing success as what you think is important to you, you'll be far more successful.
Oh, I love that. That is something truly to think about. So this is a fun question, Craig. What's your biggest passion right now?
My biggest passion?
Yeah, you're living in Hawaii. You've got to have a lot of them. Come on.
Actually, what's become my biggest passion is we've started growing our own food.
That's a passion. That's fantastic.
We've got a beautiful greenhouse, and we grow all of our own herbs. We have all of our own fresh herbs that we grow. I've got a banana tree that I planted with my grandson out in the backyard.
A banana tree.
We got a banana tree. We got about 14 pineapple plants that are growing. We've got tangerine and orange and avocados. We've got abui, which is which is a custard-filled yellow tropical plant, which is really good. We've got ice cream bean tree. It looks like it looks like a big bean pod, but the beans are coated with a white coating, and it tastes like vanilla ice cream.
Wow.
I mean, so that's my passion now. I'm growing stuff, playing catch with the dog, writing stories, and doing a little consulting when the need arises.
And still an idyllic life. Very, very envious. Sounds wonderful.
Yeah,
You're blessed.
I'm a 30-year overnight success.
That's great. I love it. So Craig, tell us how we can find out, how our listeners can find out more about Craig, the projects you have, and how we can buy Pablo.
Pablo right now is available through Amazon. And so that's the easiest way to do it. We do have some limited autographed copies that I'm happy to personalize, and that's through our website at craigtheauthor.com, craigtheauthor.com. We hope to be, we're working on and hope to be available through Barnes & Noble, Walmart, and several other carriers. But right now it's Amazon and through craigtheauthor.com.
Fantastic. Well, Craig, this was great. Thank you so much for sharing Pablo with us, for sharing your inspirational story with us. It was really a pleasure.
No, my pleasure too. Thanks, Gabby, for taking the time to have me on today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. This is Gabby Olzak of the GAB Talks. Until next time, keep on talking and keep on reading. Take care.
Aloha. Aloha.
Aloha.